Happy V-Day, everybody. That is victory in Europe. 80 years ago to the day, Britain and her allies defeated one of the most monstrous regimes this world had ever seen in the form of Hitler and his Nazis. And for 6 long years, this country and the allies fought against this regime, which were intent on world domination and committed atrocities that we can only imagine today. We owe so much to the generations who came before us. Now, my grandfather and his 2 brothers were royal engineers in World War II. They were stationed in Europe, building and blowing up bridges in order to stop the Nazis from advancing. And towards the end of the war, my grandfather was sent back to England, where he helped build ships for the Royal Navy. As far as I'm concerned, the sacrifices and the efforts that those who came before us made back in the past must be kept alive by all of us, future generations, no matter what age we are, no matter where we come from, what our backgrounds are. To honour those who fought and sacrificed for us is truly the least that we could do. Now I'll speak a little about my thoughts about everything that's going on in this country today. And the sacrifices that were made were to keep Britain free, or to ensure that we were not ruled by tyranny, because invasion almost happened. It almost happened. And the British government under Winston Churchill was even preparing for an invasion, which if you go to the Imperial War Museum in London, you'll be able to read all about it. My view is that what we see today is a great disappointment in regards to the way that the country is going. Now, I'm not going to be one of those people who will ever say that they fought for nothing and they died for nothing. I see comments like that going around. I honestly think they're appalling. I think it's nonsensical to say that, because every single one of us here, whatever our views, wherever we're from, no matter who we are here free because of what they did. No matter how disgruntled we are about society or anything in it, what they did for us has allowed us to experience life the way that we do. Politically speaking, I feel that successive governments have made a real hash of things in this country. I feel that a number of us feel a deep sense of betrayal because of what the Labour government and the Conservative governments have done. Most definitely for the past, I would say 30 years, from when Tony Blair's government got in. And from 1997, that seems to be when it all went downhill. If you look at the conditions of everything today, every single element of society seems to have become infected with demoralization, with twisted history, twisted heritage, disrespect. Look at the disrespect you see from younger generations towards older ones. Obviously not all, but there's a great deal of them out there. And we've lost that element of respect in society, not only for our elders, but also for our authority in general. Our police force is no longer respected the way that it once was, but it's not hard to see why that is. Ideologies have created terrible divisions in society today. Speaking of divisions, I would love to hear from anyone who calls the Reform Party or Reform supporters Nazis. Britain fought the Nazis. Our forefathers, foremothers fought the Nazis. And we know the atrocities that the Nazis committed. If you've studied World War II and you know about what they did to anyone they considered to be inferior, you would know what the Nazis were. So my question to these people is, do Reform talk about racial superiority? Do they want to create a race of people, a blonde hair, blue-eyed? Do they want to make everybody else inferior and elevate this superior Aryan race? Do Reform talk about that? Because I have to say that when I listened to the leader of Reform's speech recently, he specifically made a point to say that we're not interested, as in the people of this country are not interested in what your skin colour is, what your ethnic background is, or what your religion is. That all the people of this country want is that if you come here, work hard, pay your taxes, and integrate. Do Reform want to gas people they consider inferior? That's another question. Is that narrative going around? Are Reform planning on building an army to conquer Europe in their quest for superiority based on racial or religious ideologies? I am not sure where this comparison comes from. It is a great insult when you think of the sacrifices that were made, and you consider the fact that a lot of these supporters of this party had family members or have great respect for those who fought against the Nazis, only to be told that they are Nazis today because of their views. Let's be clear. You know what? You're going to get racists and prejudiced people all the time. They're always going to be there. There are those who may support the party who have these prejudices. But you know what? The majority of people do not care what you look like. They don't care what your skin color is. They don't even care what your religious background is. All they want is peace and harmony. All they want is to see their country respected. They want their history and heritage respected. That is what we want, all of us in this country. That is what we want. And those who will not do that, whether they are those within the country today who peddle these divisive narratives, insulting the country's history, disrespecting people in society, or whether it's people who come in from the outside who bring their ways into the country which are totally incompatible with British law and British values, that is when problems arise. So on VE Day, I think it is more important than ever to think about this country. Think about the heritage and the history. Think about what they did for us, the way they did it, the values that they championed, freedom, democracy, standing up against tyranny. Of course, it's not just people with grandfathers or great-grandfathers or parents who fought in the wars, who respect this nation, who are grateful to those who fought for us. It's people who immigrated here. It's people with no connection, and yet there is that gratitude. There is connection to land. Connection to land. That is what I feel truly matters. That if you have a connection to this land, you love it, you want to protect it, you want to preserve it, look after it, then you belong here. But if that love is lacking, what are you doing here? So on VE Day, it is so important for people of all backgrounds, all religions, all skin colours, all ethnicities to take a moment to think about what they did for us in the past, regardless of political views, regardless of personal beliefs. Just remember that these people made a huge sacrifice so we could have the freedom today to say, do what we like to the best of our capacity. This is what we all share in common because of the sacrifices that were made, and it is simply freedom.